Chitta, 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 cheetah, chitta. So I have heard the saying where if you touch the chitta, it's like God is your slave. And it's a popular saying, maybe in India, but it's a popular saying to me now. Not that I spread it around, but I really want to touch chitta. So what is chitta? My understanding of chitta is because I really don't have any understanding of what chitta is, I had to look into it, and I have found 4 categories of the mind, which included, I have to look at my notes, buddhi, which is the intellect. Then we have manas as the huge silo of memory, and ahankara, which is the sense of identity or ego. And then, was that 3? Yeah, that was 3. And then the 4th one is chitta, the cosmic intelligence. So if you go one by one, I understand what buddhi means, the intellect, which discerns the very rudimentary primordial, is that the word? Expression or identification of what is right and wrong, basically for survival. Oh, is this food gonna make me feel good, or should I not eat it because it's not gonna make me feel good? So, you know, it goes down to a lot of application in our daily life, and basically for survival. Yes, so buddhi is very, very important. Intellect too. Well, they're the same. And I don't really want to get deep into it, but I realized that buddhi can be very entangling because it's the intellect that makes us do business, that we earn more, or we are on the gaining end than the other person that we're transacting with. But next is manas. Okay, I understand manas is the huge silo of memory, like our whole body stores memory. Then there's also like our karmic memory, our experiences, our ideas, our prejudice. Philosophy is so sad, but everything else that has been stored, ingrained in our minds, our education system is basically maybe included in manas. And this is where buddhi, our intellect, operates from. What our memory says is right and wrong, then the discerning factor, the intellect, executes. Next is the ahankara, the sense of identity. So basically I would think of this, well, it's also defined as the ego. I would think of this as something that we unconsciously protect. Like, oh, my identity as a mom. Oh, my identity as a very independent woman. Oh, my identity as the top person in school. All this, some sort of very shallow identification that we tend to protect is also causing us some misery, but unconsciously we kind of don't know it does that. But it is there, and if you actually really analyze it, yes, protecting our identity, which is insanely taking a lot of our energy, is the ahankara, the ego. And now let us go to chitta. So I have looked into this, what chitta really means. Like, before I go to bed, I go through a lot of analysis. I go through a lot of thoughts on trying to comb through, understand what life really is. And I came across chitta, which is the universal intellect that's present within you, within me, within a rock, within a bird, within the entire cosmos, everything that is unsullied by any sort of memory. And I was trying to visualize how I could touch that dimension. So with further analysis, I was thinking, okay, I touch this dimension if I just let things flow the way they should flow. And then if I let things flow based on how they should flow, I could predict, let's say if I take a step forward, for me to move further forward is to make another step forward. So that was my initial conclusion, where I can touch Chitta if I just go with the flow. But then there's also that part of me, like if I just go with the flow, unconsciously could lead me down south in a pit hole. So I have to do it consciously. And I was thinking, how do I do it consciously? Like if I am aware what's the consequence, I could adjust what I need to do. But then again, me being aware of the consequence, this is where I got stuck. If I am aware of the consequences of what I was going to do, then my perception of what these consequences are basically just my stored memory. So I thought I was able to decipher how to touch Chitta, but I was stuck with the memory portion of it. Like I could only predict as far as what my memory has stored. So let me know what you think about Chitta. Okay, let me quote the Gita. This is chapter 13, paragraph 5, and this is Krishna talking. So this is where Krishna tries to explain the field, which in my understanding is where we are right now. Like this is our field. The earth is our field. It's probably more than just that, but right now this is what I'm dealing with our field, and it kind of really applies that it is made up of the following: the 5 areas of sense perception, which is related to our sense organ, touch, taste, feel, smell, etc. And then it has talked about the 3 components of the mind: the intellect, the memory, and the ego, which I could relate to. And then the undifferentiated energy, the source of energy where all these is fueled by. That I understand as well. In this field arise desire and aversion, pleasure and pain, the body, intelligence, and will. So that I understand. And then the desire, the aversions, and etc., I think they also arise if we are unconscious about these things, even if we try to be conscious, because the intellect, the indoctrination, our prejudice, everything, our ideas have already clouded our self, our consciousness. Hence, the pain and suffering arises. And I will go to number 9. Free from selfish attachment, they do not get compulsively entangled, even in home and family. They are even-minded through good fortune and bad. Their devotion to me is undivided, enjoying solitude and not following the crowd. They seek only me. It is true knowledge to seek the self as the true end of wisdom always. To seek anything else is ignorance. This I could relate to really. Because first, free from selfish attachments. I want to be free from selfish attachment. Because I know attachments are just basically shackles that keep us from freedom, from moving forward, from liberation. So that, I understand. The consequence of not being attached, it says here, they do not get compulsively entangled even in home and in family. Because, home and family tend to have so much activity. And if we are in that state that we're conscious, we cannot be entangled. I want to be that. They are even-minded, so it just goes further into explaining how they are. So they are even-minded through good fortune and bad. Their devotion to me is undivided. I think when it says their devotion to me is undivided, it's the same thing as consciousness, because they kind of know the self, Krishna, and the thing that's within you and me, the true self. We bow down to that because we know that's it, that's the ultimate truth. So we get to enjoy the solitude of not following the crowd, because we will only seek ultimate liberation. This is true knowledge. Yes, I agree. To seek the self as the true end of wisdom always. To seek anything else is ignorance. I agree. So based on these verses on the Gita, I also think really, if we know the true self that is within me, that is within you, within anything in this world, if we kind of figure that out and how it works, I think it's similar to touching the dimension where Chitta is. So I am here, where I am aware. I think I know what it can do. I just don't know how to get there. So I understand the concept of Chitta, but I don't know how to manage to engineer this body yet to get to Chitta. I hope you accompany me with my journey in reaching the dimension of Chitta. I want to reach it, and I know you want to reach it too. So more gas to us and more blessing. Till next time.